Hey guys, good morning. This is Hair Captain Steve from YouTube. It's about 9:15 here, and I have yet another gun review for you today. Today it is going to be on the Walther PPK by Crosman. There's going to be two parts to this review. The first half will be some background information on the gun and the actual review of the gun. The second half will be the assembly and disassembly of the gun, or disassembly and then assembly. Okay, so first some background history, and by the way, this is the PPK-S, not the Walther PPK, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Right out of the way, even probably before you know it from World War II, you would probably know this gun more so, or close to, James Bond. To my knowledge, the PPK, even though this is the PPK-S, the PPK was taken out of the Bond films in Tomorrow Never Dies with Crosman. Before that, he used the Walther PPK in GoldenEye. Yes, the James Bond films have made this gun very famous, very popular, which probably adds to its value. This gun may not have the stopping power anymore, even though you can still very much so kill somebody with this gun, but it's still a quite expensive gun. You might pay between $600, $700, $800 for this gun still, which is about the price of a Glock 17 9mm. You might pay the same for a Glock of this weapon, and I'm willing to bet it's mostly because of the popularity behind this gun, how famous this gun is, even though this is the PPK-S and not the K. So some real history of this weapon. This gun was developed before World War II, not too long before World War II, but it was. Most people that carried this weapon, military officials, were police officers, Gestapo agents that were undercover, and, Waffen-SS officers, or anybody that could either afford this gun, so they would sometimes personalize it as well. The real gun, and I'm talking about the PPK. I'll talk about the difference of the PPK-S later. The real gun was 7.65mm, which is a European round. Usually, this is also 9mm as well. I believe it may be Smith & Wesson that makes these in America. They make it in 380 ACP, which is, I believe, equivalent to 9mm. But the original caliber, which is European, of course, because this was developed by the Germans, is 7.65mm, which I don't believe you find very often around here. And yes, as far as we know, the Walther PPK is also the pistol that Hitler committed suicide with, which probably gives it a little popularity, but not nearly as much as the James Bond series. I believe it holds 7 rounds in the magazine for the PPK, because there's one in the chamber, supposedly. And as I said, it's 7.65mm. I mean, the look of this gun is so popular. It has such a slim, elegant look to it. I mean, Germans are very particular and very precise when it comes to designing firearms, and they're very good in that business. But anyway, let's get on to the review now. This is the PPK-S version by Crosman. And one thing I really like about it is it has the trademarks of the Walther company on this weapon. Just so you know, I usually will not buy firearms whether they're high quality BB guns or airsoft guns, unless I know they have the original trademarks on here. Why? Because if I spend a big amount of money on these things, I want to make sure they have the trademarks. It has the Walther logo on both, well, one side, and it says Karl Walther, Germany, and then they add for Crosman model PPKS BB caliber 4.5 millimeter, which is equivalent to .177 caliber. Even the grips have Walther on both sides. I don't know if you could see that. Hopefully. But the trademarks are on here, and then there's a warning on this side which is, you know, tells you it's not a toy, blah blah blah. One difference of this gun is the original safety for Walther PPK is right here. This is a display piece, unfortunately, on this weapon. If it were real, you flip that down with your thumb, straight up and down. The safety on this gun is right here. You just simply put this bar downward, covering the red dot, and it is on safe, and this gun is not loaded or anything, so it wouldn't have any function. And then to take it off safe, you simply flip it back up. This is a CO2 gun. Let me make a point here. Let me make it clear. This is not airsoft, and this is not spring. This is CO2. The previous weapon I showed you, the Marusian K98, was a green gas gun. It was gas operated as well, but it was green gas. Which means green gas guns usually do not have blowback action, but some of them do. Simulated blowback. This is a CO2 powered gun, which the canister is housed in the grip. And that canister would be one of these. CO2 guns are quite a bit more powerful than green gas guns, and of course more than electric or spring powered. Being that this is CO2 powered, this does not shoot plastic BBs. This shoots a metal or copper, nickel plated, they make different coatings, .177 caliber, which is 17 caliber. This is not far from a 22 caliber round, which means if you have one of these loaded in a air rifle or even one of these and you get shot in a bad area, you better believe you're going to be in the hospital or seriously injured. If you point airsoft guns at people, do not do it with CO2. And do not shoot each other with CO2 guns. These will rip your eye out. This will break your skin. You will bleed from this gun. And if you get shot by an air rifle, you're going to run into some problems. But anyway, this is all metal construction. The exception being the plastic grips, which you could probably replace with original grips or even wood, possibly if you want them. Completely metal. They did a very nice job on the finish of this weapon. Very nice job. Every part is metal except the grips. It has a nice flat black shine to it. The trigger is metal. The hammer is metal. The only disadvantage of this gun, which isn't really a disadvantage, would be everything is perfect looking except the knob on the bottom to insert the CO2 canister. Well, if you want it to be put in this gun without it looking very weird, unfortunately you're going to need this, because how else are you going to screw it in there? If this could just be chopped off, that would be nice, but then you'd have no way of getting it in there. This gun is very